I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, so I graduating from high school, decided to go to Ball State University strictly because I wanted to party and have fun. So I went up there and it didn't work out at all. I ended up failing out of school like twice within 2 years, but eventually came back down to Indianapolis and sort of put things together and went to a small school called Marion. At the time it was Marion College, but now it's Marion University. And actually tried going to class every day for a change. And ended up getting, once I actually put some effort into it, ended up getting like straight A's for a year, so I had a 4.0 at Marion. And at that point kind of figured out what I wanted to do. So I explored Butler because I knew that I wanted to graduate from a school that had some reputation. Applied there, wrote them a big sob letter, and they accepted me. It was a journalism degree, but it had to do with advertising and public relations, so it was kind of a half and half degree. I realized that I needed an internship in order to graduate, and at Butler, everybody's like gung-ho on internships, so everyone that I was competing with for jobs had like 5 to 6 internships at this point. They had just been interning their entire college career, and I had just been barely trying to keep my head above water, so I was a little behind the game, but I got an internship at a local public relations agency. It kind of sucked. It wasn't a very fun job, and it made me not want to do PR at all. Right before I left there, they had hired a girl named Amanda, and she worked really close with me, so we had always talked, and she had just left a company called One Lappin Group, and he was a sales guru. So he was one of those guys that wrote like a weekly blog and helped sales teams be more efficient and better. And she was telling me that he had a big need for someone to come in there and help him build his blog and his website and his social media and all this stuff that I thought I knew how to do. So I met with this guy, we had coffee, and I pretty much talked myself into a job, just sold myself into it. Like my title right out of school was Director of Marketing and Public Relations for this dude's company. I thought it was awesome, and all that. But I completely way overshot the mark. Like, had no clue what I was doing. I would show up to work and just be like, I don't know. Like, he gave me zero direction. He just thought I knew the right stuff to do. So needless to say, that did not last very long whatsoever. He ended up firing me like 2 months in. Working with him, I had built a few relationships with people in town. I was trying to get his website built. I realized that he needed like SEO work done on his website, and in doing all of this, I started to create this sort of idea of the way a website and a company should be marketing themselves via the internet. I came across this company called Slingshot SEO, and I had sort of sent them an email being like, "Hey, this company I'm working for might need your services," and they ignored me completely. But this whole idea of search engine optimization kind of got me thinking about just optimizing for what people are searching for online. And I figured LinkedIn was a big thing. When I was at Butler, all the professors were telling us, get on LinkedIn, keep it up to date, use it. Companies are using it, hiring managers are using it. Don't be shy to put everything you have ever done on LinkedIn. So I literally went and cleaned up horse crap every Saturday and Sunday at my aunt's barn. That was my job. It was like an equine riding center or something, and I put that I was the barn manager. And I started putting keywords about how I can, manage things and keep things and be responsible and all this stuff to kind of hone my skill set towards a job that I actually wanted. And then I went into every piece of my education, and I broke down my education. I mean, you could put in just, I went to Butler and got a 3.5 GPA, and this is my major, and go to next. But on mine, I went in and I broke down the advertising group that I was in, the projects that I had done on that advertising group, that PR group that I was in, all the projects I had done within that group, and broke down stories within each of those, and kind of honed those stories with the keywords and with related material towards social media. And we need to use that to give detailed information to not only, I guess, the search engine or whatever on LinkedIn, but the user, the community manager at Slingshot that's eventually going to look at my profile and say, yeah, this dude is pretty relevant for the job that we're looking for. He'd probably be pretty good at it. my methodology with LinkedIn is to go to the job that I want 15 years from now. So I want to be director of some awesome company for whatever the case may be, right? I'm going to go look for a job description that a company put out there, like we're looking for this person. And they had a very detailed job description on their website about what they were looking for. So boom, I almost took that verbatim and started putting those types of phrases, the bullet points that they use to describe exactly the talents, started using those throughout my entire profile. And I've done that to this day. I mean, I've been put in a position where I've had to write a job description, and it sucks. It's very time consuming, and you got to think about it. And the words that they use are very thought through. So, I mean, why double the effort? Let's just use what other people have already done. You know, like if I'm going to go try to find a job, I need to do something that I really, love or like actually have some interest in. Maybe it's not in a company that, maybe it's not an actual physical job every day that I'll be doing something that I love, but hopefully the company in itself is something that I can respect and feel proud to tell, my relatives that I work there. So I kind of prepped myself for the failure on those sort of initial job blasts out to everyone, and realized that if I was actually going to be serious about getting employed somewhere, that I was gonna have to sort of insert some type of personality or personal type connection with it in order to really succeed. And I mean, that's what I did with the very first job that I ended up getting fired from. It was a person put me in touch with the guy. I mean, he never would have answered an email if I just would have sent him like, hey, I'd be a great XYZ for you. And then with the Slingshot job, it was, the whole recruiter found me on LinkedIn. And then with the job that I just currently landed about a month ago, it was a personal relationship that I had built at that very first job with a company and a guy who I'd been keeping in touch with via social media the whole time. So to this point, I've never gotten a job based off of just a cover letter and a resume sent to an HR representative. So I'm not really sure how many people do get jobs that way, but for me, it just didn't really seem like it was ever going to happen.